All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are WED Talks. Today, we got my man, Mike D.
What's going on?
Culinary Prodcutions.
Yes, sir.
Boom, boom, boom. So, we've been working together now. I feel like we've had Kelly, Chloe, and Melissa Wilson. So, the other episode, we had a few different people. But I feel like going to the staples of the wedding industry. Not to say there's not other people out there, but we've been around for a while.
No doubt about that. Which is good and bad, I think.
So, Mike, tell everybody your story. How did you get to where you are now, please?
Yeah, I mean, sounds silly. Hard work more than anything. But, I mean, we started very small. So I started in my house, just like, quote, personal chef. And, just slowly grew the business. We came into it with not a lot of cash and not a lot of backing. We did it probably the back end way of it, so to speak. So we just grew it small and, just kept growing each year. And we'd end up, went from the house to a little space and, in the square in downtown, and then found the spot we're at now. And around, especially Pensacola, it's just a lot of, advertising we don't do a lot of because everybody just talks, it's still a small enough town where, you do enough events and whatnot that people are like, oh yeah, you want to call them or whatever it may be. So that's helped out a lot as well. But it is, and just great people that work for us. We don't have, what I think is cool, we don't have a lot of turnover. So that is catering, awesome. Restaurants, a lot of turnover. We have catering staff and upper staff that's been, there for, 5, 10, almost 15 years, as long as we've been in business. So stuff like that helps the longevity, I think, of the company. And then we just, again, we do other things outside the food, of catering an event that I think just helps. We like to help out in an event. So if we need to rearrange a bouquet for someone, we're going to do it if we can.
Right.
And stuff like that, whatever it may be. So I think all those little things just kind of help you grow the business. We saw a few examples where they kind of, companies were growing around here and then they kind of took a huge step. And then you have one thing kind of go wrong, so to speak, whether it's the economy or equipment going down, that you're just teetering there and you just stretch yourself too thin. That's been my biggest fear. I just do not want to stretch us too thin. And, so it's always looking forward and what's coming in, what's going out, that type of stuff that, never thought about when way back when I'm open a catering company.
I'm going to be my own boss.
Exactly. This is going to be cool, man.
I'm only going to work a couple hours a week. I'm going to get everybody else to do the work.
Exactly.
Wrong.
Totally.
So how did you end up with your culinary skills to opening up the catering business?
Needed a job. Literally. I worked at a catering company here in town again, 10, 12 years. Bunch of my friends worked there, and so they were like, we got a big party coming up. We need some extra help, so I was the punch guy and just really liked going out, setting up the party, if there, it was, to me, I like the aspect of, if something does go wrong, what can you do to make it right? And they don't even know, and it's seamless, so to speak. So, just worked a few events there and really liked it and just kind of hung on there and kind of turned into their general manager. And so did kind of everything, bartending in the kitchen and, front of the house, back of the house, middle of the house, did it all. Just learned, everybody asks, where did it all kind of come from? And it's cliche, but it's school of hard knocks on our end. That's what it was.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, it was just, working to the bone and, just with people that know what they're doing. So we just kind of started there I started there and just really liked it. So that's what I like about kind of being in the kitchen, but I really like getting out and about to events, that type of stuff. So we, kind of ran its course where I was. And so we just, again, we'll move my catering company. A little bit. And so that's kind of where I ended up, just kind of learned on the job for sure. And all by totally good and bad, kind of making mistakes and learning from them. I'm a big believer in that. So that's kind of how I've learned kind of what got me to where I was to be able to feel somewhat confident enough to open up a catering company on my own.
Nice.
I didn't know how it was going to go or anything. So there was plenty of times I came home to my wife and was like, look, if I need to drop this, let me know. You know, I'm going to keep going until, you know, I don't have to.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, God bless her, man. That's the other thing. You know, you got to have, you know, you have somebody there that, you know, is willing to pick up the slack, so to speak. Because it's, you know, there's times, I'm sure you as well. I mean, we're working 100-hour weeks.
Yeah.
And there's just, you're not there. You're not home to do anything, you know? And so
much for that 4 hours a week.
Yeah, exactly. Like the first week you're opened up, I think.
Yeah.
Are you saying 4 hours? Because that's my standard DJ package.
Is that, dude?
You're a jerk.
Yeah. Oh. I didn't realize you did that. Sorry.
Yeah. I told him last party, I'm just, look, I might set this aside and just come be a DJ, man.
Yeah, that ain't a bad idea.
No, it's not really.
You don't have any post-production work or anything, dude.
He gets there after us. He leaves before us. Yeah. He's like,
So what does this teach you guys? That I'm the smartest guy in the room. Okay.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm impressed with, besides those mashed potatoes, was Justin. This dude, I saw him. He wants those potatoes. He's like, so new guy. He's gonna be working with me. Great guy. He's from Chicago.
He's cool.
From Chicago. Justin. So we call him Chi-Town. Anyway, he comes up and he's really friendly. So friendly. Like instead of saying "oh," he says "shoo-wee." But anyway, he walks right up to Mike. He's like, "So what do you do?" He just starts getting into a full on. And I'm like looking. I'm like, Mike's got things to do, but he's just sitting there talking. But then he goes on about these mashed potatoes. Goes in.
I know. Yeah. I mean, monologue kind of. You know, it's like mashed potatoes.
So, but he also knew a lot of your staff there, and that's one thing that I'm really impressed with Culinary Productions is, man, your staff is amazing, and on the other hand, that you've got to manage that.
Yeah, I mean, it's try to, but again, there's certain people that have been there that know we got to do it a certain way, and so they're a big help, because to joke around, but yeah, I mean, typically once we get to a certain part of the event, I'm going to go out the back door kind of, and just let them bring it back. And so that's when we've got to have someone that, isn't, going to just kind of have their head in the clouds. So it's hard to find those folks right there, and it shows because those are the ones that have been with us the longest. So, but yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. I mean, that's how I approached where kind of the company a couple different ways. Around here, there's a big pool of clientele that you can be in, that you can pull from, that aren't going to be way high end and way low end either. And that's where we seem to have really dove in and done pretty well, instead of going for maybe, and we do our fair share of kind of higher end events, but just not primarily. There's a smaller market for that. So knowing kind of them going back to kind of where we're at, knowing the market and really kind of settling in on where you want to be and, what you want to do, so to speak. And so we've been fortunate enough to really kind of grasp that. And the next part of that was just good staff. And we're going to do anything that we can to make that event, rememberable for the bride and groom.
I love it, man.
So, yeah. And
we kind of have that same mindset. Like, if you need us to do whatever, we're going to do it. Because, we're here to capture today, but we're also here to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you need a bottle of water.
Exactly. I mean, or if you...
I actually do, by the way.
Yeah, me too. If you...
I might have forgot the waters today, guys.
So Caleb always brings, a case of water for everybody. Water.
I totally blanked on it today.
He's here at 6:45.
Yeah. We ain't gonna. Sorry.
What time do you get here, Ramsey?
8, but you did remember. The bang. I was so excited. Because even though I was running late, like that Tom Thumb right there, I was almost like, ooh, no, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna do some push-ups in between each recording session. So how much staff do you have?
We have like almost 10 full-time, basically, and we've got 25, maybe 35. I'll call them part-timers, just caterers.
Wow.
So, I mean, this weekend, it's an odd weekend. We have one event Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday. Mm-hmm. We need like 5 people for each event. This past weekend we had 4 on a Saturday. We needed 25 people. Dude. Yeah. So you've got to, and that's the other challenging part about it. Again, what's good and bad, if you will, about catering is, there's not a huge, at least for us, not a big window there for a large full-time staff. Mm-hmm. I can't, our caterers work, 3, sometimes 4 events in a week, and then we get, certain times a year, a little bit more than that. But, so people from colleges, second jobs, it is nights and weekends. So that's the fortunate part of it. Mm-hmm. So we just pull them from wherever we can. Yeah. And especially for the catering staff, that the support staff, I'll call them, a little bit easier to fill those shoes.
Right.
As long as they will pay attention.
Right. So do you have head chefs or?
Yeah, we have a head chef in our kitchen, and he's kind of, we've got 2 guys in the kitchen. They're both the same way. I just go to either one of those guys, we'll sit down, but if there's anything kind of coming up, I can say, hey, Steve, we need to make sure we have this done, and he'll relay it to Sean or vice versa. So a lot of communication there, again, is key for us. With as small as we are, we try to operate, we push ourselves for sure. Should we have another person in the kitchen? Sometimes we can, sometimes we don't need it. So those guys know that, and they just kind of hunker down a little bit harder. I think that creates a little bit more of a tight-knit group that wants to do a good job.
Right.
They have more invested in it, and they see the return on that too. So we've got a guy in the kitchen that kind of our go-to, Sean, Steve, they're both our kitchen guys. And we have someone that's going to kind of help them out when they need be, but Andrew kind of gets all of the equipment ready for the events. Okay. So he'll load the trucks and get the equipment ready, help us set them up early in advance, that type of stuff.
Wow.
And then from there, it's all caterers. So, and of course, what no one really thinks about, and I think he's the most valuable person down there, is our dishwasher.
Wow.
There is, we have to turn everything up. We do 4 events on a Saturday. We got one on a Sunday. And we go out the door at 8:00 in the morning. I don't want to wash those dishes, and it's hard to find someone to kind of come in early this guy, it's impressive. Yeah. So he'll come in midnights and just work all night through.
That's epic.
Next day. Yeah. He came up with that idea, and it's been golden for us ever since, years ago. It's like, we got to figure something out, because this isn't working. We're trying to get parties out the door. You're still washing stuff. You're way behind. We're jumping in there, this type of stuff. And it's that type of communication again. Yeah. And, it wasn't a, hey, you bleepity bleep, bleep, bleep. We got to figure something else out. He's like, well, I come in at midnights. I think that might work. And where we might need to, sometimes he saves us that labor. So we kind of pay it back to him.
That's
same
epic.
thing with everybody else. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, but yeah, without that guy, man, it's
killing it over here.
He is the sprocket. So yeah, without a doubt.
So I'm interested in how you came up with the name Culinary Prodcutions.
I have no idea, really. It was like just kind of watching a movie or something, just saw I had that Productions there, and just kind of all of a sudden just, we are producing a party, and it just kind of all of a sudden, well, what am I going to Cook Productions, Mike's Productions, and it just kept going on. And then it was like, just dawned on you, culinary. And it just kind of, it sounded weird at first. I wasn't sure. And I was like, but I was so sick of trying to figure out a name, kind of. It was fun in the beginning. And it's kind of like my kid. Quick. Yeah, it's like, just give me one, man. I'm done with this thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, all right, we're going to go with that. And it kind of just stuck. So now I like it. I've always liked the name.
It's finally grown on me.
Exactly. 15 years later, I'm all right with it.
So what is the process for my understanding and people out there listening? What is the process from beginning to end of booking a client? Like, don't y'all have like tastings and like, how does this work?
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. They'll either contact us through our website, you know, or just directly email us or, you know, call us up, whatever it may be. So when we take that initial call, we want to get some pertinent information, of course, date and, you know, number of people. And then we sit down with clients usually either by phone or in office and just to kind of get an idea where they want to go with the menu. Some of them know specifically what they want. Some of them pull from our pre-priced menus, and sometimes we'll just kind of make a menu up. And once we get a menu done up, we'll price it out for them, kind of make sure we're, you know, in the ballpark with them with that. Set up a tasting. You know, our tastings, what I like about tasting, because again, we're all about kind of options for clients and what, you know, I say it almost every meeting. It sounds corny, but we cater to you.
Yeah.
So here are my crab cakes. I think they're great the way they are. People very rarely, if I'll change them. But if you want more garlic flavor in there, or you want them spicy, or you want, you know, more lemon in there, we'll do it. And we'll make note of it during the tasting, and then we make it that way for their event. So they're able to really customize their menu, whether it is the menu itself or down to the flavors. So once we kind of dial that in, it's just a matter of filling in the blanks, you know, as far as, you know, as we get closer to their date of, you know, we want specifics of, are they serving alcohol? Do they need barware for that? You know, we'll supply that. Do they need tablecloths? You know, all these type tables, chairs, anything like that we can take care of. You know, that we'll make arrangements for. We'll set all that up. We'll break it all down for parties, you know, stuff like that. So we let clients know all that, and then whatever they need. So once we have that, usually that tasting, we have everything dialed in. And then it's just a matter of, usually people are booking 8, 9, 12 months out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing proposals for 2021 even right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is cool. Yeah. You know, so, you know, you just have so much time that once you get to a certain point, it's like, all right, I'm just going to check in with you when you, or if you need anything, have any questions, or you wake up one night, oh my gosh, I want to add this or do that. You know, we just make the changes. So
one of the real cool things, like, as you've been talking, going through everything, I thought it's about how you were like, we started really small. We started with what we had, and now you have like a full staff. You're doing 4 weddings in a day. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing 4 weddings in a day. I'd probably rip my hair out. My beard hair, that is. I don't have hair on my head.
You saw me. I was about to go
I
there.
knew you were going to say it. So I was like, I'll beat you to the punch. But I think that's so, like, such good information and stuff shared is like, it's a process. It doesn't just happen like overnight. You don't start your business today and tomorrow, you know, you're doing 100 weddings, you know.
Exactly.
And that's super awesome. I mean, what for you, did you ever go through that kind of that struggle of like seeing these other companies kind of like blow up and you're just kind of steadily going?
And to this day still.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, especially early on, you know, it's like, okay, I know where we want to be. We can't do 1 event in a day or 2 events in a day unless I just want to just work out of my house and do everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of looking at it from that perspective, kind of, you know, is that, you know, my dad always said, you know, I would tell him, you know, early on, you know, he wanted to help out so dang bad, you know, he just wants to be somewhere in food. And he came to me one day and he's like, look, it's okay. I got this book. All you need to know about catering and more. Don't worry about a thing. So that was pretty funny. But I would tell him, like, man, I'm only doing, you know, this event, this one event this week, and I could have done this other one, but I'm too nervous right now. It would stretch us too thin. And they're like, you're going to have to do more than one event in a day, you know, whatever it may be. And I'm like, look, I've been doing this a long time. I know that, but I know I can't stretch us too thin. And even to this day, we, you know, I always go to him for a lot of information and advice. And even to this day, you know, it's like, you go your own route, and it is all worked out.
Yeah.
You know, he might have done it a different way or faster or whatever it may be. But that's what's so cool about
Indeed.
that
think, like,
that relationship.
One of the cool things, like, it's kind of like when we record, we do batch podcasting, so we'll just record 4 to 6 episodes in a day, and like this, like, we always seem to find like these same things they're kind of going on. In this one, it's, you know, like slow growth, and some of the other ones been slow growth builds character, you know what I mean? If you get it super quick, you know what I mean, you didn't have to work so hard for it, you didn't have to fight for it,
don't appreciate it,
you don't appreciate it, you know what I mean? It's whenever you have to get in there and like work hard and those late nights and stuff, it just builds.
It totally does,
and it builds you up for whenever you do hit that point that you can then start sustaining it. And it's not just like, oh, you became really big overnight and then you don't know what to do or how to do it because you didn't have all those years of that prep work. That's so awesome, it, man.
And I mean, for years, it's like, I feel like we're in this turn and we got to make it at some point. You know, we got to keep turning to get on where that straight path. And that kind of talk was for years. You know? And it probably wasn't until relatively, I would say, recently that, you know, you feel like, okay, we have turned a corner. We're kind of, you know, we might, you know, be anchored where we're good to go. So, you know, it's a whole different feeling at that point. But it doesn't last too long. I mean, I'm still more of the, man, what are we doing wrong? You know, something's not right. And that whole, and that whole thing of, you know, well, who's doing what, where? Oh, they got, you know, their catering there. How many events do they have today? Where are we at? Oh, I only have one event, but I see that, you know, there's other people have their trucks everywhere. Oh my gosh, we're going down the tubes, you know, and it's just.
We were talking about that the last episode, like that, like we were talking about like every entrepreneur kind of struggles with that, but like really at the end of the day, that just like bogs us down. We focus on ourselves.
That exactly. I mean, I totally can see that.
Melissa said, "Put the blinders on, man. Put those blinders on."
Yeah, that's especially. I mean, I've kind of been doing that here recently. It's like, okay, you get in, you know, you always have your list, but it's like you don't look at anything else but those emails for the first 30 minutes. If you do anything else, you've screwed yourself because you start going down this other hole with all this other stuff to do, especially being, you know, the owner. So, you know, all of a sudden you find yourself 2 hours later and you're like, I've answered one email. You know? So that's where hopefully, you know, we're just now in the process of kind of training and updating, you would say, personnel for the front of the house. So they can return these emails and stuff like that, you know, that will allow me to pull back from that to help out in the kitchen or to set up more events or just for someone to be there if we're not there, you know, all that type of stuff. Y'all know all that.
You're killing the game, sir. You're dropping knowledge. You're killing it, sir. I'm just over here smiling, just like, educate, and inspire.
Those are some words that usually don't run hand in hand with me. And educate, I can tell you that.
Are you ready for your question that you always ask?
If you could give one piece of advice to someone who's about to start Culinary Prodcutions 2.0, what would you tell them? Or anybody just getting into the wedding industry?
Yeah. It's a long-winded answer sometimes. I would, almost like I've said, be prepared. You got to work hard. And I wish there was different verbiage or like signage, pictures, or something that you could really explain what that really means. Because you can say hard work and you're going to work long hours, but until you're in the middle of it, you don't really realize it. You know, if you want to have a catering company that is an off-site catering company that's going to come to you and do it all, you got to be prepared to, you know, in the beginning, especially, usually, I mean, you got to be prepared to wash the dishes and to set the stuff up and to wash tablecloths and to do everything. And that helps you learn the business more, but you have to be prepared to do that. And like I just said, take it slow. You know, I've always said that. I'm more of a proponent of that. Again, maybe in sometimes too slow, but, you know, all plays out the way it does. So, but that would be my biggest piece of advice for sure.
It's good.
Slow if it helps out anybody. Slow and steady. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Even if you get knocked back.
Yeah.
Keep going forward.
It will happen. I mean, you're going to have something go wrong if you do it long enough. Some things are things that, you know, that's where I have the biggest anxiety and, if you will, lose sleep over is the fact that there's just going to be some caterer. They don't mean malice or harm by anything, but they've done something, made a mistake that has, that a client sees as some big deal that may not be that you're dealing with that type of stuff, or just something going wrong, and how you're going to handle that, and I have found handle it head on. You're all right.
Yep.
It will happen from time to time. We got some good stories for sure.
We'll have to get you on with those stories.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of We Are WED Talks today. Mike D, can you tell people how to reach you on social media, whatever, all the platforms?
Yeah. We, of course, website is culinaryprodcutions.net. And then, of course, we have Facebook that we're out there with. I think we might have an Instagram.
You do.
Thank you. We do have an Instagram. So those are the main things for us, but mainly our website, because we have so much information, probably too much on there. Tell everybody, but that's the main thing. And then phone number 850-469-0445.
Boom. Our first caterer.
Yeah.
Hey. So thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
For sure. I'm Ramsey Coates.
Caleb Cummings.
And you are
Mike D.
Boom. We are WED Talks.
WED Talks.